There's been a lot of fuss about Deontay Wilder and him not going to the Parker Joshua fight. Now, uh, Deontay Wilder just gave his reasons. I just watched the Boxing Voice, um, and I heard everything that Wilder had to say. All right, and also during the hoopla, we also heard what Eddie Hearn said during his IFL TV interview or rant, depending on how you see it. All right. He says Wilder not being there would hinder the promo of a potential fight between himself and Anthony Joshua. Okay. But my whole thing with Eddie Hearn is he mentioned Dillian White's name far too many times for my taste, which only leads me to one decision or one conclusion. Hearn wants the promo to be between Wilder and White. All right. I mean, let's just be honest here. Uh, Hearn goes on to say that that the eyes of the sport is going to be in Cardiff. I do agree with him on that. And he said that Wilder would be a joke if he doesn't attend. Now, whether should Wilder go? You know what I mean? Should Wilder go? Whether he doesn't go, I'll support it. But do I think he should go? Yeah, I think he should. Why, you might be asking? Well, for a couple reasons. One, I say get the free bag from Sky Sports. If they paying him to call the fight, call the fight. You know what I'm saying? Get the free money. But I understand. Wilder has always been a man of principle. So I can understand it if he doesn't want to go on just for the bag. Me personally, I would have went just for the bag. But a second reason for him to go would be to get another chance to see Joshua live in action, Maybe he can see something that he can take advantage of. You know what I mean? Like I said, maybe. 3, you take another clip out of Eddie Hearn's quote unquote media gun. I think that Deontay not going will enable Eddie Hearn to flip the narrative that he really doesn't want the fight. Which we all know Wilder wants this fight more so than Eddie Hearn does. But that's the way Eddie Hearn is going to try to spin it. And let's just be honest. Eddie Hearn has London on lock right now, as far as I can see. If any of my bros in the UK, like EJ and Beats and them, if they can tell me different, then I have no choice but to concede to them. But from my vantage point, it's looking like they got it's looking like Eddie Hearn got UK sports, UK boxing on lock right now. And in all fairness, it's in Eddie Hearn's best interest to keep Wilder off Joshua, right? So I can almost put bread on it that Joshua, whether Wilder was coming or not, that was not going to be his next fight. Okay? I mean, for all those who haven't realized it yet, Alexander Povetkin has been named the number 1 contender for the WBA recently. And also, he is the number 1 contender for the WBO. So, with that being said, I believe he's going to try to fight Povetkin because of the simple fact that it knocks out 2 mandatories in one fight. So I can almost guarantee you that whether Wilder win or not, that wasn't going to be, that Wilder wasn't going to fight that man next. Let's just be honest. And number 3, I understand Wilder does not want to be force fed. Because like I said, Eddie Hearn said Dillian White's name entirely too many times. So it's not Wilder wasn't going to be there to promote no fight between him and Anthony Joshua, okay? He was being strategically placed there, lured out there by the bag, by Sky Sports paying him to call the fight, lured out there by the bag to be confronted by Dillian Whyte. But, in all fairness, he can easily just throw, just put Dillian Whyte in his place and tell him go sit in the corner somewhere. Why? Because the WBC, to my knowledge, will not mandate a number one challenger until November of this year. That's 7 months from now. He beat his last mandatory in November in Bermane-Stiverne. The WBC normally does not enforce another mandatory until a year from now, which tells me he will not enforce a Mando. All right, WBC will not enforce Dillian Whyte as Mando until November. So until November comes, Wilder can do what he wants, when he wants, how he wants to do it. He just got to go sit and Dillian Whyte is going to have to sit in the corner with the dunce cap on and just wait. It is what it is. All right? But this also begs another question. Does Wilder need to go across the pond to promote himself? Well, given the history of boxing in America, one could say that he doesn't have to go across the pond to build his brand. Doesn't necessarily have to do it. All right. When we look at Mike Tyson, right? Mike Tyson built his brand in America. He built his brand. Now, true, he got knocked out by Buster Douglas in Tokyo, Japan. Regardless to whom or what, though, he made his bread. And shucks, when he beat Trevor Berbick and became the youngest champion in history, he did it right over here. All right? And, I mean, do we really have to bring up Floyd? Right? Floyd Mayweather, with the exception of a few fights, I don't even know if he's left Vegas. All right? He fought Arturo Gatti in Atlantic City. Right? He fought a few fights in his hometown in Michigan, right? He did all of that. But for the most part, he's never left the country. So with that being said, he doesn't necessarily have to go across the pond and build, and do anything over there and get this quote unquote free press. If he was to go over there, let's just be honest with you. Let's just to be honest. ESPN's not going to be over there. It's Sky Sports, IFL, Seconds Out with Radio Raheem and them. All of those guys will be over there, but he's not going to be any American affiliation. Networks wouldn't be over there. You know what I mean? So, will it build them up? Going over there is not going to build them up over here. I think he doesn't need to travel to get his name bigger, but he does need to I think he does need to hustle to get his name big over here. And for the most part, he has made progress. His last fight against Luis Ortiz did very good. His fight against Bermane-Stiverne when he basically turned Bermane-Stiverne into a meme, did good. Did wonders for his career. That knockout raised his profile more than the Dillian Whyte fight, I think, could, to be honest with you. But that's just what happens. I support Deontay Wilder whichever way he goes. If he chooses to go, I'm fine with it. If he doesn't, I'm cool with it also. You know what I mean? Every man must walk his own path. Regardless to whom or what. If Anthony Joshua wants to unify, he gonna have to go through Wilder. Because as of right now, I don't see too many heavyweights that can beat Wilder outside of Joshua. So that's all I got to say about the subject. Like, comment, subscribe to the next video. It's your boy AC. I'm out. Peace.